guys, if you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Okay guys, I'm back. It's Saturday, July 27th, and it's 9:40 p.m. Now, I have already done this video, so I'm having to redo it because for some reason the file was corrupted and it would not allow me to upload it to YouTube. So I am doing the video over again, but it worked out well because while I was doing that video, Q continued to post, so I've been able to update it with those posts as well. So it worked out for us all. I will redo it and get it uploaded tonight for you to be able to see the post from today. Q has been posting and got a lot of stuff. Anyway, I did want to mention also that you guys that commented called me a redneck, and I was thinking, why are they calling me a redneck? And then all of a sudden I went, oh. So you'll notice my neck is much less red today. So anyway, I'm not a redneck today. I'm just a brown neck. Okay, so let's get into Q here. And not there, here. And before we start with that, I wanted to be sure that you are all aware of this because it's important. This tweet by Donald J. Trump, such a big victory for our country. But it's interesting because he leaves off the, he says a victory of our country. It should be for, so I'm not sure if that is a mistake he made on purpose or not, but he said such a big victory for our country. Supreme Court approves Trump administration plan to use military funds for the wall. At Fox News, we will be fully reimbursed for this expenditure over time by other countries. So I wanted you all to be aware of that because I don't know about you, but I have been very, very disappointed in the progress for the wall. I expected much more would have been done by now, and you know we continue to see people not only from Mexico and Central America, but really from all over the world pouring into our southern border. So this is good news for all of us. And so now we are going to just go on with the Q post, and I will try to not be very chatty tonight because I do want to get to all of this and do so in a timely way. So let's get started here. The first post for today is, and just let me mention too, so that you'll know, Q, we are completely up to date with yesterday's post. So we are starting fresh with today. All right. Now, this one links to a tweet, and underneath it, Q asks, one or both of his parents fluent in Russian? He's speaking of Obama. And as far as I know his mother is fluent in Russian, but I'm not sure about his father. But Q is letting us know. Now, maybe Q doesn't know either because he's saying one or both. I don't know. I do know the mother is fluent in Russian. Is Russia a common language to learn? Well, let me put it this way. I have lived many places, many major cities, Toronto, you know, major cities in the US. I've traveled extensively. I've lived in 2 countries and spent a great deal of time in a third, and I have known not one person that knew Russian. Not one. So I would say no, it's not common. Really, there's no reason to learn Russian unless your job brings you in contact with it, such as the CIA, or, you know, you're planning on going there. So anyway, Q also says farms develop necessary, unique skill sets in order to produce results. Now, he's using farms in the natural to be an allegory of farms as in the CIA. Farm as in CIA. It's referred to as a farm. And so it's an interesting allegory because both require special, unique skill sets in order to produce results. And one of those skill sets, if you happen to be CIA, it would be very, very useful for you to learn Russian. So Q tells us Stay awake. Q. Now, we are awake, but it is important to stay awake. Now, let's go out to that tweet, shall we? Of course we shall. Here we go. And this is interesting. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can see it, but also there is a part in it that's very, very low. The volume is really extremely low. So I'm not sure if it's going to come across on the video or not, so I will give you the gist of what he is saying. This is Obama proving to us by his own mouth that he is not America. He's not American. He was not born in America. And worse. We're going to listen here. All right. Let me make sure this is up. And that, yeah, that's 100% because it does get very, very low here.
Kenya as the first sitting American president to come from Kenya.
Now, he's addressing his birth certificate now, okay? And it is absolutely, well, for lack of a better word, gobsmacking what he has to say. I've never seen this clip before, and it's very low. The volume is very, very low on it, and it's probably the only clip they could find, and the volume was just probably very, very poor. But somebody asked about his birth certificate, and he's mentioning, or he's addressing that here. And very interesting. He says, it's true, I'm not American. I was not born in Hawaii. He says, it's true, I'm not American. I was not born in Hawaii. He was not, he said, I wasn't born in Hawaii. I wasn't born in the United States of America. I come from Kenya.
So I think people saw my election as proof, as testimony that our society has continued.
And he said, I think people saw my election as proof that our society has become more and more naive. He's making fun of us, Americans. He's saying, I think that people saw my election as proof that we are becoming more and more naive.
Come together around a set of shared ideas. There's no place where anybody has a chance to make it.
He says we are still a place, speaking of Americans, where anybody has a chance to make it. Through misleading and dishonest practices. He's saying we're still a country where anybody can make it based on misleading and what did he say again? Misleading and dishonest practices. So what is he saying about himself? That's how he's saying that's how he got there. Through misleading and dishonest practices. If they try. And if that wasn't true, somebody named Barack Hussein Obama would never have been elected president. Now, if this is not one of the most gobsmacking, I don't even know what other word. You guys have to give me some more words because I'm tired of using that one, but it's just so incredulous. I'm so incredulous about this. I don't know what word to use to describe it, and I'm a writer. Really? He's saying, yeah, it's true. I'm not American. I wasn't born in Hawaii. Yeah, but it just shows you that we're very naive and that anybody through misleading and deceptive practices can become president. And if that weren't so, Barack Hussein Obama would not have been elected president. How do you feel about that? He is rubbing our noses in it like a naughty puppy.
From Africa will now be elected president.
And I'm shocked that a question like that would come up at a time when we got so many other things to do. Well, I'm not that shocked, actually. It's fairly typical. We got other business to attend to. I was pretty confident about where I was born. I think most people were as well. And my hope would be that the presidential election reflects more serious issues. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And there he is, partaking in those misleading and deceptive practices right there, because you've got the press asking him about where he was born, and that's his response. Well, I'm pretty confident about where I was born. That doesn't answer anything. He just evades the question, and he gets away with it. He gets away with it, and we think, and anybody that questions it, the mainstream media points at them and says, you know, you're a crazy conspiracy theorist. That's just crazy that he's not American. But he says it out of his own mouth. Well, that doesn't matter to them. Anyway, I have no idea what this woman says because it's in another language, and it's not interpreted, but it's very short. There's a picture of him growing up. I think that's his grandmother.
All of us who are Obamas or claim to be Obamas extraordinarily proud. Now, 3 years ago, I visited Kenya as the first sitting American president to come from Kenya. I visited Kenya as the first sitting American president to come from Kenya.
And this person, Carly Bonet, says, when has the president ever been wrong? Kenya will soon be home. Hashtag QAnon. And remember when, you know, it was discussed that he might try to flee the States and take up residence in Kenya to get away from facing justice here. Who knows? He just may do that. But anyway, that is unbelievable, earth-shattering, if you ask me. But you know, it doesn't matter because the liberals will still not believe. They'll still not believe, even though they listen to it come out of his own mouth. They'll say, "Oh no, he was just joking. He was just playing because people were accusing him." Yeah, whatever. All right, let's go on now. And also to come back to this, one or both of his parents fluent in Russian? Yes. Q is alluding here, and I've heard it spoken before, that one or both of his parents are CIA, and he is asking us to stay awake. And Obama's going to face his soon enough. Soon enough. Now, this is the next post. And Q is making reference to an earlier post of his from April 25th, 2019. Why would a president of the United States, Hussein, assign renegade as his U.S. Secret Service code name? Define renegade. Well, if you look up renegade in the dictionary, you'll see Obama's picture. Not really, but there should be, because he embodies the word renegade. It is a noun. Number one, a person who deserts and betrays an organization, country, or set of principles. The synonyms, and for those of you that may be rusty on your English, a synonym is a word that means exactly the same thing. So it could be exchanged for, a synonym is a word that could be exchanged for the word in question, and the sentence would still read the same. So, or mean the same rather. So a synonym for the word renegade, the synonyms are traitor, defector, deserter, turncoat, betrayer, and adjective, renegade. Okay, this is what it means as an adjective, a word to describe, having treacherously changed allegiance. Now, if that doesn't describe Obama to a T, I don't know what does. And of course, he signs it Q. Now, let's go on. And we're getting into some very interesting ground here, and I'm so glad that this is coming back around. I really am glad, because it's something that I looked at in great depth when it happened, and I was convinced it was murder then, and I'm still convinced it's murder. And anyway, and that is the death of Loretta Fuddy. Now, for those of you, and I know that there are probably some new people mixed in with the people that have been here from the beginning. So for your sake, Loretta Fuddy is the health director. She was in Hawaii, and she is the person that verified Obama's birth certificate. However, she and Obama had connections, and it's probably him that put her in that position to begin with, for her to perform that exact same task. And they had connections through a very odd cult. So I'm not going to get into it here, but in the description, I'm going to link to a video I did. It covers all this extensively, and it goes through the footage of the crash frame by frame, and I show you, I believe conclusively, well, pretty close to conclusively, it might not stand up in a court of law, but I think it's pretty conclusive to me, that she was murdered. Now, here we have his Q's tweet from the 20th of May, 2018, saying, "The truth has been in front of you the entire time." And he links to a Trump tweet. Well, this is the Trump tweet that he links to. On here. How amazing, the state health director who verified copies of Obama's birth certificate, that's Loretta Fuddy, how amazing that she died in a plane crash today. All others lived. Now, if you were to see the footage of that plane crash, you would be questioning as well. You really would, because it's obvious. The plane lands like it's just sitting there, like it was planned. The whole thing was planned, and it was, because they landed on a sandbar. The water was not deep there, and contrary to what they would have you believe on the mainstream media, they were within, you could see the shore from where they were, and several people swam to shore. They just swam to shore. She was there in a life jacket hanging on to the wing of the plane. You know, you can see her just floating peacefully there. She didn't look worried. She didn't look anxious. And, you know, but you also see, now they've cut all this out, of course. They've selectively edited. But you also see divers in the water immediately, and the divers come up under and inject her with something. I believe it was scopolamine. I'm quite convinced that it was. And then later she is dead. And yeah, I don't believe she had a heart attack. They said, oh, well, and she didn't have any heart problems. They said, oh, she had a heart attack. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. They said, oh, she was all upset and worried and anxious, and it just gave her a heart attack. She looked very peacefully, just bobbing in the water. Why wouldn't she be peaceful? She wasn't deep. The plane never sank. That's how, you know, they were on a sandbar, and she could have swam to shore easily. So, and if she didn't swim, which maybe she didn't, I don't know, but she had her life jacket on and she was holding on to the wing of the plane, just bobbing around. And, you know, if she didn't swim, people would have been along very soon to get her out. She could see shore. There was no reason for her to be anxious, even if she didn't swim. You know, if you're there in a life jacket and you're just bobbing on top of the water, why would you be anxious? You know somebody's going to rescue you. So, yeah, a little bit odd, but I am going to link because I know there's maybe some of you have watched this show, show that I did on Loretta Fuddy, and probably many of you have, but I am quite certain that many of you have not, because there have been new people coming on progressively, and maybe some of you that are listening to this now are new. So you might want to look at that, because I don't know of anywhere else that has that footage or that has shown that footage. Maybe there is, but I don't know anybody that has shown it unedited. And I go through it frame by frame. So I'm going to leave that in the description of the video for your viewing pleasure. All right, now let's go on here. And we come up to here, and this is the next one. And again, Q is referencing the tweet by Q. Well, he's referencing an anon that references the tweet by Trump, rather, that we just looked at. Okay, and then beneath it, there are two responses. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a person called Tiffany Monique who says to Donald Trump, he won 2 terms, get over it already, talking about to Donald Trump regarding Obama and him questioning the fact that she died in this plane crash, which was not a crash, as anyone who sees the footage could probably attest to, and especially any of you pilots. And then beneath that, Maria J. Fratto says he's got to clean up the mess now. Yeah, right. Yeah, he won 2 terms and he's out, but yeah, Trump was left cleaning up the mess, and he most certainly was. And then down here, the same one we just looked at, the truth has been in front of you the whole time. And it has, because you can see her being murdered. It's on video. Now, here is the next one, and again, Q is referencing a tweet, and beneath it, he asks, ask yourself a very simple question. How did someone die from this type of accident? Severity of impact? Low? Do you believe in coincidences? Q. Well, we're going to go out and we're going to look at the footage that was shown on the mainstream media. Now, understand, this is selectively edited, very selectively edited. But for our purposes right here, it will show us that, yeah, this wasn't a plane crash. The impact was negligible. It was, I don't see anybody, people weren't even panicking. They just kind of landed very softly in the water. And, you know, obviously this pilot has been trained or is trained on landing in water, obviously. Now, let's go take a look. And we'll go to here.
Now to that ABC News exclusive and that extraordinary footage inside the plane crash. This we want to show you is the kind of camera it was shot on. It's called a GoPro camera, and it is remarkable video. Take a look. Those passengers don't...
Now, I'm just going to stop this for a second because I want to point out to you that this right here is Loretta Fuddy. Now, this woman behind her is involved in all this, and it's quite obvious. She was behind Loretta in the plane, but after they got out of the plane and she had her life jacket on and you see them hanging on the plane, she is beside Loretta, and I do believe it's her, if I'm not mistaken, that holds Loretta while they inject her. So I do believe that everybody on that plane was involved. I do. I absolutely positively am convinced of it. And if you were in a real plane crash, if the plane was going down for real into water where you know, are thinking, gosh, I'm going to have to get out really quick, would you take the time to videotape it? I'm just asking. I wouldn't. I know I wouldn't. I wouldn't be thinking, man, I can make some money from this. No. I mean, really. Or I'm going to save this, you know, for my children and my grandchildren. Well, I wouldn't think that anyway because I don't have kids. But anyway, let's go on here.
Don't know it yet, but they are seconds away from experiencing the worst fear of every air traveler. Suddenly, the alarm sounds. The plane is going down, spiraling into the ocean.
Okay, it's not spiraling into the ocean. Do you see the plane spiraling? No, obviously she doesn't know what the word spiraling means. No, it's landing very controlled, very softly in the water. Let's listen. There's no, you know, smashing their heads against the seat or anything like that. And they're trying to get out because the water's going to come in the plane, obviously.
A mad scramble as water fills the inside of the plane. Survivors going for the exits.
Okay, he hangs on to the wing of the plane.
Clinging to anything they can get their hands on.
Now, this is Loretta Fuddy right here. That is the woman that was behind her. So she's got a life jacket on and she's hanging on to the edge of the plane. This guy, I think, is standing up. They're not in deep water. They're not. They are on a sandbar. And obviously, the way the mainstream media made it sound is if they were way, way, way out at ocean. And my gosh, you know, oh, no. Most of the survivors, give me a break. What did they survive? Most of them swam to shore. That's right. Most of them swam to shore. And in the water immediately after this so-called crash, we have divers. Divers in the water underneath coming up. Where did they come from? I guess they just happened to be there. What are the odds? Slim to none. That's what the odds are. That's Loretta Fuddy right there. She turns around and looks, but they've cut it because as she's looking, there's somebody that comes up from the water and she looks scared. She looks like, and that's in my video. So.
Oh, you gotta put it on first before you put it. Put it on first.
And that is the lady that we saw behind Loretta Fuddy. That is her legs here, and Loretta Fuddy's over here.
Everybody okay?
Throughout the 3-minute ordeal, Ferdinand Fuentes' camera never stops rolling, even as a plane begins to sink into the ocean.
Is that fifth time stop? And everything that you remembered in your past, your loved ones and everything, you know, this.
Now, I think I go over in my take 2 that there's something odd about this guy. I think he has a criminal record or something. I can't remember, but the plane does not sink into the ocean. Just so you're aware of that. It does sink down a little bit, but it's not deep. It's not deep there at all.
I didn't say goodbye to them. Whole life just goes in front of you.
And we were remarking and watching the video, listening, how calm
Yes.
everyone was.
Well, of course they're calm.
So methodical, all getting out in time.
Unfortunately, there was one fatality. The state's health department.
Yeah, right here. That is Loretta Fuddy. That's Loretta Fuddy. And this is right before they approach her. And you can see under here, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's they've got it blurred out here, but there is a diver in the water there. If not, you'll see it in the video. If you watch my video on this, you will see it. But she's there, she's fine, she's hanging onto the plane, and this guy is helping her with her life jacket. So she's absolutely fine. And yet, she died. A little odd, if you ask me. No, it's a lot odd. Very, very odd. Now, let's go back and go on. And again, Q is asking us, how does someone die from this kind of accident? I don't know. They said she had a heart attack. She didn't look that, not in the video I had. She didn't look like she was all like, save me. No. And why would she have been? They were helping her with her life jacket. She was clinging on to the wing of the plane. She was fine. She could see shore. Now, I don't know. Maybe she didn't swim. Maybe she couldn't swim. I don't know. It would surprise me that somebody from Hawaii couldn't swim, but I'm sure there are people in Hawaii that can't swim. But even so, she's not that deep. She can see shore. Other people have already begun swimming for the shore. And in fact, the guy that recorded that's how he got out. He swam to shore. And just like most of the others. But even so, even if she couldn't swim, she could just wait for somebody to rescue her. Too many really odd questions there. And the thing is, she knew Obama from this cult that they were a part of. Obama was responsible for placing her in that position. And I think he did so just for that reason. And then he killed her. It's obvious. All right, and up to the next one, and this says, hang on here. Okay, so here Q is linking to this graphic, and he says, "Welcome to the awakening. Free information, power back to the people. With knowledge comes power." Q. And here is a quote by Tom Clancy. "The control of information is something the elite always does, particularly in a despotic form of government. Information, knowledge is power. If you can control information, you can control people." Tom Clancy. And that is the truth. They do control information because they are the disseminators of the information. The mainstream media is owned by the elite. It is the propaganda arm of the Democrats, and they control information. They control the narrative. What we learn, they either selectively edit, they change things, or they outright lie. And that is something we're all familiar with, so I don't need to get into that. But here we go here, and here is the next tweet. Or the next post rather, by Q, and Q is showing us this graphic that was taken from Fox News. Fox News is not the one, doing anything wrong, but they are letting us know that Google has redefined the word patriot. Well, isn't that lovely? Google is now playing, the same. It really, read the book 1984, and then look at what's going on. Same. It's the same. And if you've read it in high school and say, "Oh, I've read that." No. You need to read it now with the eyes of an adult, because you will see that it is describing exactly what is happening to us. And I know some of you don't read. Now, I know I'm like, what? There are people that don't read? Not that they can't read. They just don't enjoy it. Now, I can't even imagine that. Yeah, so there are places, I think on YouTube, you can get like an audio book of 1984 for free. And there are places where you can read it for free as well online. So you don't have to go out and spend your hard-earned money on it. But you know, read it. If you enjoy reading, go back and read it. You'll be glad you did. Now, redefining the word patriot. Google's patriot synonyms. So these are the words that Google says are synonymous with the word patriot. Nationalist, loyalist, isolationist, or xenophobe. But according to the dictionary, Merriam-Webster, patriot, the definition is one who loves and supports his or her country. Well, that's not good enough for Google. No, Google defines it as a nationalist, a loyalist, an isolationist, or a xenophobe. A xenophobe is somebody that does not like things that are new. Anything new, they don't like. So there you go. How do you feel about that? I don't like it very much. Okay, I don't like it at all. And beneath that, Q is giving us, reminding us of a post that he did on February the 21st of 2018, a year and a half ago, and he says, patriot, a person who loves, supports, and defends his or her country and its interests with devotion. 2, a person who regards himself or herself as a defender, especially of individual rights, against presumed interference by the federal government. Traitor. A traitor is a person who betrays another, a cause, or any trust. A traitor is a person who commits treason by betraying his or her country. Now, beneath it, Q says enemy of the people. Q. And who is he saying is an enemy of the people? Well, most certainly in this case, he is saying that Google, big technology, is the enemy of the people. And they have proven that. Google has proven it. Facebook has proven it. YouTube and Instagram and Twitter, they've all proven they don't want our opinions. The opinions of any conservative or any patriot they do not want to hear, and they censor it. And now they are even changing the very definition of the word patriot. Yeah, sad but true. Now, here is the next one. And Q gives us a link to Devin Nunes' Twitter page and a tweet that he just recently tweeted. And beneath it, he says, farms produce ... Well, and then he says 5-5, which means loud and clear Q. Well, again, here he's drawing an analogy between farms in the natural that produce produce. They produce produce. A lot of them. They're not all farms. They're dairy farms, but they also produce. Farms produce, and the farm, CIA, produces. And Devin Nunes, interestingly enough, says corn, ready for to be cut. I love that. Corn, ready for to be cut. He doesn't say it's ready to be cut. No, he says corn, ready for to be cut. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, who's he referring to? Who has consistently photographed themselves in a cornfield? That's right. Corncob Comey. Corncob Comey. Yep, he's been photographed in a field of corn many times. Corn, ready for to be cut. I think that is, Comey is tipping his hat to, Devin Nunes is tipping his hat to Comey and letting him know, he's giving him a message here. Corn's ready to be cut. Tick-tock, we're coming for you. All right, and down here, I've just included this. This is a picture where Comey said, so good to see new growth in Iowa and across the country. And there he is in a cornfield. There's many pictures of him in that stupid cornfield. And then beside it, Devin Nunes, corn, ready for to be cut. Yep. Yep. And let's go up here. Now, here's a link to another tweet, and beneath it, it says, where we go one, we go all. Q, you're going to like this one. I know you will. I did. Oh, wrong one, but I thought this was another post, but it's not the wrong one, as in wrong video. But this is something that we have seen before. It's Reagan, Peace Through Strength. I know when I watch this, I get goosebumps, no matter how many times I watch it. However, it's almost 5 minutes long, and I don't want to play an entire video on my video because that's not fair to the person that uploaded it. So, along with my former video showing in depth the whole Loretta Fuddy story, I am going to also put a link to this. Reagan, Peace Through Strength. If you have not seen it, you must. It will give you goosebumps everywhere and make you so proud to be an American. It really will. So I will do that, and it'll be in the description below. All right, and we're going to go back now, and we're going to come up here, and here we go. Here we have Q making reference to an earlier tweet of his. I'm not sure when this was tweeted because the date is missing and it doesn't matter anyway. But it says, imagine what would happen if, by law, every U.S. congressman, woman, U.S. senator, president, etc., was, by U.S. law, audited every 1 to 2 years by an independent agency. Imagine what would happen if those audits extended to all family members of such elected officials. Would Democrats continue to push for foreign aid to other countries versus the homeland? What happens when the kickbacks dry up? Maxine Waters, $4 million home. Nancy Pelosi, net worth $150 million plus. Joe Biden, son, brother, net worth tens of millions. Clinton family, 200 million plus. Pre-election of Bill Clinton, less than $1 million. Yeah, they sure got rich while he was in office, didn't they? Obama family, 40 million. Pre-election, less than 1 million. Disguised under book deals? Yes. Those who take are offered more powerful positions within the party. Controlled. Drain the swamp. Q. Then he puts a link here to a tweet by Breitbart News, and beneath it he says, do you believe in coincidences? And of course, well, I do believe in coincidences, but not in this case because Q has repeatedly told us there are no coincidences when it comes to this. So beneath this we have this, and it says Obama and his wife Mishel, aka Michael, famously signed a book deal estimated at $65 million in 2017. Now, says President Trump, it's time to investigate. Yeah, that is one whopping book deal. $65 million. That's a bigger book deal than most really, really big time writers, of which Obama and Mishel are not. So yeah, I find that a little strange. And it says Trump floats Barack Obama investigation. Let's look into his book deal. President Donald Trump suggested that the House of Representatives could investigate former Barack Obama instead. So we're not going to go out to that article and read it because, this is going to be a long enough video. But, Trump has been alluding to the fact that Hillary and Obama will be investigated and all documents subpoenaed. So that will be good news indeed. Corn ready for to be cut. Yep. Now, we're going to go up to the next one, second from the last, although Q could have posted more. And if he has, I'm going to catch those up tomorrow, along with some Q-related news, which I intended to do today and would have if I didn't have to re-record this video. So here, and let's hope that this one is not corrupt because I don't want to have to do it a third time. All right, where did we go here? Now, this one, Q posts a picture that we have seen before. We've seen this meme before. It says, now that Russia collusion is a proven lie, when do the trials for treason begin? And beneath that, Q says, the President of the United States retweeted this graphic. Pause, reread above. Pause, reread again. Nature is unpredictable. Q. And it's interesting that we had all that corn ready for to be cut, and now he's saying nature's unpredictable. Yeah. They thought they were going to have a harvest, didn't they? Yes, they did. But someone's going to come and cut all that corn down. Cut her all down. Corn ready for it to be cut. Ready or not, we're coming. We're cutting down the corn. Okay. And here is another of Comey's posts about cornfields. And there is Comey kind of silhouetted there in the dark. He's a very tall man. He's a tall corncob Comey. And beneath it, he's got a link to a status, which we're going to look at presently. And it says, was the corn? Q is asking him. I love Q. He is like, he's just right up there on par with Donald Trump in terms of trolling. He says, was the corn ripe for harvesting? It is now. Corn's ready for it to be cut. And I don't know what this is. I spent some time looking into it and I don't know. If any of you are aware what that means, please put it in the comments below because we'll all benefit from that. Otherwise, I will keep searching. And signed Q. Now, let's see this Comey tweet. Here it is. Millions of 2016 Trump voters are not racist. Now, those Americans need the strength of character to resolve they will not vote for someone. They will not again vote for someone who clearly is. So he's saying, you Trump voters, you're not racists. And you need the strength of character to resolve within yourself that you're not going to vote for someone like that again. It's not about judges or taxes. It's about who we are as a nation. That's right, Comey. It's about who we are as a nation. Yes, it is. And you do not represent this nation. Not one little bit. Corn! Ready for it to be cut. Yep. And we're going up to the last one, or is that the last one? No, this is the last one. Now this one is the one that I thought we were going to because I love this. I absolutely love this. And beneath it, Q says, where we go one, we go all. Q, let's go take a look. In case you had any wonder that this movement was worldwide, you will doubt it no more. Look at this. This from Mishel, who our most recent QAnon series in Chinese, co-authored by at Henry SI5 and I, and read by tens of thousands of Chinese worldwide. And let's look at this. We have been translating and introducing QAnon messages and analysis into various Chinese groups. This is the 11th article. Nothing could stop the Great Awakening. Thanks to the author, Mishel 51304, where we go one, we go all. And look at them there. There are 4 Chinese beautiful people, and they're in front of a pyramid with hashtag QAnon and hashtag where we go one, we go all. I love this. I love it. Now, talk about doing something. They're taking the Q posts and they're translating it into Chinese and introducing it into various Chinese groups online. Brilliant, brilliant, and a wonderful picture. They all look like people I would love to meet. And I'm sure that you share my sentiment there. This is absolutely awesome. And I'm so glad that Q included this, because I don't know about you, but it just warms my heart. It really does. This gave me goosebumps, along with the Reagan video there. So anyway, Reagan, of course, probably one of the greatest orators that ever lived. And if you listen to that video, the writing behind the speech is impeccable, impeccable. So anyway, that is it. That brings us to the last Q post. However, let me go out because Q may have continued to post. He's been quite active today. And of course, we're not complaining about that. Sorry, it takes a minute to, well, there's one more here. It's 10:31. Let me go out to this. Of course, it has the Antifa. This is the Antifa, and this is Nazi. Oh, this is Democratic Party of America, 2017 paramilitary wing of the Democratic Party of America, and this is the 1933 paramilitary wing of the Communist Party of Germany. Coincidence? Q. Now, of course, we can see they are identical. They both have a circle. They both have two flags. This has been, flipped horizontally, of course, but it's the same thing. It's just the colors are a little bit different. They have the same, word up here, words down here. Yeah, same thing. Now, let's go look at this Trump status tweet. Close some of this down. All right. Consideration is being given to declaring Antifa the gutless radical left whack jobs who go around hitting only non-fighters, people over the head with baseball bats, a major organization of terror, along with MS-13 and others, would make it easier for police to do their job. Yes, that is good news, very good news. And something that I've been waiting for, and probably you as well. So he's a wonderful president. He really is. Now, so far, I think he has done an amazing job, and he's done it without the help of any Democrats, because I don't know how he continues to do his job, constantly being dogged and obstructed. He's obstructed from doing anything by the, and they keep him wrapped up in all these investigations, and it's all a ploy to keep him from doing what he needs to do. But yeah, that hopefully will take care of itself. So there you go. That is it for the Q post. Now, if there are more, after I stop, Q still has another hour and a half. I will be sure to bring those to you tomorrow. But for now, that is it. I will be back tomorrow, and I do hope that this is going to upload, because if it doesn't, I will scream, but you won't be able to hear me because I won't have the camera on. So anyway, you guys have a great night. Stay safe, stay well, stay blessed, and keep seeking truth, because you and I know deception bites. Good night.